Okay, let's do this again. Are you seeing my screen now? Yes?
Yes, much.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So I would have gone through this as to relates to the Mishkan material listing and items being found in Teruma and Tetzaveh. There's a small section in Tisa which deals with the lever. And I went through also that it's comprised of the gifts that were given, metal, fabric, leather, wood, oil, spices, precious stones, and we had also agreed yesterday through Nathaniel's studies that a cubit in this case would equal to 18 inches. So then I looked at the courtyard, and this is its dimension, and I mentioned the altar of burning and the lever, which is outside the courtyard. Then as you get into the Mishkan, you have the menorah, you have the table with the bread, the altar of incense, and as you go into the Holy of Holies, the ark. So sorry to have rushed it through, but hopefully you were hearing also when I was going through. So what I wanted to do now was to take you onto another screen, and I'm hoping that this time you'll see the screen. Are you able to see this screen?
Yes.
We see building the Mishkan right now with a red header.
Sorry?
We're seeing the ark right now, building the Mishkan.
That's what you're still seeing. Wow. Building the Mishkan. You're still seeing. Okay. Are you seeing it now? Is it better? So I'm
PowerPoint.
I'm not going full screen anymore. I'm just checking. Are you able to see this?
Yes, you're going through your PowerPoint.
Correct. So were you able to see the PowerPoint earlier?
Yeah, all that was perfect in full screen the way you had it.
Okay, great. So when I carry to this screen, are you able to see it? Are you seeing graphics being displayed now?
No.
No?
No, the graphics are not being shown. What we see is a rectangular vertical gray box to the left side of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And
there's
that's
obviously content. There's obviously content there, but it's not displaying.
Oh, wow. Ah. How do I do this?
Is it possible for you to stop sharing and then go straight to share the screen that you want us to see?
Sure. Sure. That's weird. Try this again.
Yes, graphics now.
Yes, you're seeing it now.
Yes.
Wow.
It just went off.
Yeah, I realized, and I didn't stop it. I'm not sure why. Are you seeing it now? Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you for your patience. All right, so that being said, I should return the cloud to its point of glory, which would have rested atop the Mishkan when it was resting. So around the Mishkan, we know that the forefathers would have been, the tents would have been around. Now, sorry, let me do it this way. So hopefully you're able to see this.
Yes.
Great. So I will ask a question, and all right, I'll ask a question at the end. I'll just point out. So Judah was here being highlighted. Hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
And Aaron and Moses was here. The Levites were around, and the Cohen. And the other tribes, their tents were around that, and so forth. So it was almost like the village or the community when it rested. Well, it was not almost. The Mishkan was the center of it, actually. So let us enter the Mishkan. Hopefully you're still able to see.
Yes. Is there a way to get the default tray out of the way?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, so as we go through the gates of the Mishkan, I'm sorry that I have to use this medium, but a video was just not working out also. We get to the altar of burning, where yesterday Mrs. Poole pointed out to us that the horns were at the corner because the corners were directed to heaven. And we can see the grating inside. And as we leave there, we get to the lever or the basin. Now, as we move past the basin and go towards the Mishkan, it had a very different covering, as we had pointed out before. Now, the first covering had the cherubs on it, and then there was a covering of skin, and on top of that there was a covering of goat skin dyed red, and on top of that there was the tahash. Now the doors of the Mishkan were also fine woven works of multicolored, but for some artistic purpose it's been showed here as this. Just allow me to move some things out the way so we'll be able to see some things better. So what I want to do is to move all these all the way so we can get more appreciation for the Mishkan. Now as we get in, we're seeing where the instructions were given where the table with the bread should be placed, and also where the menorah should be placed, and also where the incense altar should be placed. So you still don't get to see the ark. You know, it's there within beyond the curtain. But each morning, Aaron and his sons were supposed to tend to the lamps. They were supposed to clean it. And the bread would have been changed throughout the week. And incense would have been burnt on the altar daily. So while today it is it seems to don't have anyone in it. Well, not as yet. Maybe there's going to be somebody in it. Who knows? Maybe Aaron is going to be there. So as we go further within the Mishkan, we get to the ark, and sorry. So Aaron's up here, with his incense, and for some reason we're not supposed to, because we're not Aaron, and I don't think Aaron did either. But we're going to take a peek just inside the ark to see, what possibly is these cherubims actually bending their heads towards. And we're seeing, whoa, it's a tablet. It's a commandment. So all of this seemed to, to give credence to the importance of the Mishkan. It wasn't the creatures above or anything, but the important piece of the Mishkan is inside, in a wooden box, as Nathaniel pointed out yesterday, wrapped in elaborate gold, with its lid being solid gold. Yeah. So as we venture back out of the Mishkan, and we put everyone back in their rightful places, we are reminded that for us, what is most important is the commandments. That contract that is encased in elaborate artwork of craftsmanship, of copper, silver, gold, with heaven coming down constantly, touching it. I must say, in all the projects that I have worked on, this have been maybe one of the most fun, because the instructions that you find in Teruma the details are all there actually. Yes, there are items of it that clearly Moses would have been, giving specific details to the builders as it relates to, as Nathaniel pointed out, like the height of the menorah, or the diameter of the lever. Those you don't really find, but clearly Moses would have given those specific dimensions to the builders. So what was the actual dimensions of the Mishkan? So let me take this off a bit first. So we find that it's 45 feet in dimension, in length. It's 13 feet 6 inches wide, and it's 15 feet high. The enclosure wall was 7 feet 6. The altar in the court was 7 feet 6 by 7 feet 6, and it was 4 feet 6 high. Now, it seems quite practical because a human being 5 feet 6, 5 feet 7, which is standard height, can use it relatively with ease, you know. But I set a dimension for the basin, but I'm sure what I did was to try to use what a human could have maybe washed from, but I'm sure the accurate dimensions were given from Moses to the builders. Now, around the Mishkan, the enclosure was fine linen works that seemingly gave protection of the activities that were happening daily within the Mishkan, within the enclosure. Now, what I did here in discussing with Nathaniel, he pointed out to me that, Mike, if you're having an issue with the menorah, you should look at the works, the engraving works that the Romans did when they removed the items from the temple. And let us hope that the temple will be rebuilt soon and Moshiach will come. So in using that dimensions that from the engraving of Titus, a scale was derived from it, and the scale, I mean, so what I did was to use a human scale because it was being carried by a person. And if you pretty much scale that, you can begin to start to get some real scale of what it possibly was. So here we have it being represented as around 5 feet, which 5 feet 3 thereabout, which is pretty tall. It means that this would be cast in quite an elaborate light. Now the walls are encased also with metal, precious metal. So what you're finding is that light is being bounced, and the illumination must have been spectacular. If you could cast your mind's eyes into it, I mean, lamplight is something remarkable. You know, you're getting that incandescent look, yellow glowish look, being flickered with the wind here and there as it slightly moved through. But all of that light is being played, so you have this nice ambient lighting just being bounced right throughout the space. Here we're having also the dimension of the incense altar, which is being shown just diagonal to the menorah, being 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet and 3 feet high, which is again practical, quite practical as it relates to, if you think of your sink, your kitchen sink or so forth, it's around that height, you know. So it's quite very practical. It shows that before there were IKEA, there were the Israelites building the Mishkan in the desert, you know. And again, we'll take a peek, because here you will also have the ambient lighting being more softened, but lit in the space also. But you also had the Shekinah, so you can imagine it's like a light box. You have encased gold roundabout, the light of the Shekinah being blasted on the side, the ambient light from the menorah coming through being softened by the veil. It must have been a space that brought Aaron to his knees, a space of awe. So as we do conclude the showing of the Mishkan, I am turning over to you for any additional questions that you had forgot to ask Nathaniel, yesterday.
That was really incredible. Very, very, very fascinating. I really felt like I was there.
Yeah.
Especially with the narration, I agree, Avi. It's what a job you did, Michael, to turn this kind of into reality, or almost looks like today's our kids' games that they play on videos, but it gives you a feeling. And as you were describing the tent of the meeting tent, I realized, and I never have before until you're in it and looking, it was hitting on almost all the human senses. Yes. You have the light, you have the touch, the bread that would have been the taste, you had the smell of the incense, and it just touches all senses before Aaron and the Kohen would go into the Holy of Holies. So really brought it to life.
I'm not sure if I have the right information. Correct me. The entire nation. I'm wrong. I think I'm thinking of the Bet HaMikdash. Scratch that.
No, what's the question, Avi?
No, I'm remembering learning that the entire nation would gather and there would be plenty of room. But I think that was the Bet HaMikdash, not this.
Okay. But what I found interesting for me is Teruma reads almost strongly like an engineering document, but with utility. In other words, it is really practical that you actually can build from the instruction given. You can. It's amazing.
Thousands of years later.
Yes.
I also, you were very humble in your intro. Let me introduce you more formally to Michael Nunes, who was our presenter. He's one of our Sephardic U members. He's with us every morning, every evening, and really a foundation block of our community. And when he's not doing that, he is showing off his goods here. He's an architectural draftsman from Jamaica and lives in Jamaica and is doing this whole show from the Caribbean islands. So thank you very much, Michael. You're a valued part of our community.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share this evening.
I've been looking forward to it all week.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see the next leg where Samuel packaged the working drawings, the shop details, and turned it into a miniature scale model.
He's going
you
to be
know.
turning it into a model. That's right.
And you know, as I thought about it, it came to me that from the details Samuel will be getting, others in the future, if they want to acquire this from Sephardic youth for kids, to make it into playful, Mishkan, so we'll try to simplify it in such a way that, persons can use, small pieces of wood to create this fabric.
Michael, could I ask you a favor? Is it possible for you to go back in or do like a walk around from the outside at, let's say, if you were a 5 foot tall person or 5'3", or I'm assuming they were probably shorter than the average is now, but just so I can get an eye perspective of what that would look like.
So I tried. I really wanted to have done a video, but I realized that I'm having technical difficulties. So what I sought to have done is maybe with more time I would be able to really have a 3D figure. But the images that you're seeing is actually 5'8". So sorry for that.
The two people there?
Yeah.
Reese? They're at 5'8". Okay, so it shows the scale.
Yeah. Let me remove the curtains actually. Sorry.
I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but if you see on the top of his software, it looks like you can adjust what month it is and the time of day, which I'm assuming throws different shadows for the different times, correct?
Correct.
Can we see what it looked like at night?
Sure, you can. The I think I maybe have to render it for it to show properly.
It's running behind.
Yeah.
But what's neat is you saw the shadows starting to form on the right side as the sun was going down.
You know what else came to mind, Nathaniel, when I was doing this is, and you saw it in the early designs for the synagogues, is the Mishkan. I know that possibly I maybe put a scale to the structures around, but it almost came so strongly to me that the Mishkan might have been much taller, being 15 feet high, than the tents that were around.
I would agree, to show the dominance or the importance of that structure. Yes. I agree.
So I mean, it's not shown so well here, but as I drew it, it came more forceful that the Mishkan was the dominant thing per se.
Yeah. It's amazing what you've done here.
Sure. So any questions? Any additional questions? Okay, well, let us hope we can all build our Mishkan, if not virtually, using a software in our hearts,
Absolutely.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Michael. This was amazing. Sorry you had some difficulties at the beginning, but boy, it was worth it. And
Thank you for the patience.
so now what you're going to do is with these dimensions and plans, you're going to send that to Sam, who tomorrow is going to explain what he does with them and will convert them into a miniatures model of the Mishkan. He won't do the actual building tomorrow, but he will time-lapse video as he builds it over the next few days. And then we'll send you all the time-lapse video. That's why you had to register. So we had your email so we could send you this little surprise. So I'm kind of blowing it now, but that's what's coming. So, but he's going to explain what he does with the woods, and he'll go into detail on that tomorrow. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate it so much, and I'm sure everybody else does. And
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks,
You're
Michael.
welcome.
This was amazing.
Thanks,
Welcome.
Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Good job, cuz.
Thank you.
Well done, Michael.
Thank you.
I agree, Karen.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Truly appreciate it, and hope you got something out of it, learned something, and we'll continue with our part 3 and the final part tomorrow. So please join us same time, same channel. And have a good night.
Good night.
Laila Tov, everyone.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.